Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video. And today we're going to be talking about The Chi, Season 5, Episode 9. We got a lot in this episode. It was the best one to me all season. I think it's leading us into a really good season finale next week. But let's get started. So Tracy was telling Duda that there's some money missing out of Rock's account. Who's taking it? Is it you? Somebody is moving money in this account. So who is it? Duda said, I didn't take it. Don't be looking over here at me. I didn't take it. So Tracy's like, well, it was Rose then. And he said, nah, Rose wouldn't do that. She got her own thing going on. So Tracy's like, well, it was Q. So Duda's like, why would Q do it? She said, maybe he broke. Maybe he needs some money. So Duda has to go investigate and see if it really is Q or not who's taking the money out of Rock's account. So Duda meets up with Nuck, and Duda's asking him, where's Q? Where Q at? And Nuck's like, he's at the casino. So Duda said, which one? And Nuck's like, I can't tell you that. Q got a gambling problem, and he don't want nobody to know, so I can't tell you which casino he's at. But what Nuck did tell him was, you need to kill this old man and take over. So that was easy. Duda didn't need any more convincing. He doesn't like how Q's been talking to him and running things anyway, so that was nothing to him. He was like, say less. That's some good advice. He goes and tells Tracy his plan on taking Q out, and Tracy's like, that's my son's father. And so Duda was like, your son's not here anymore. Tracy took that offensively and told him to get out, but Duda wasn't trying to insult her or her son. He was just spitting facts, telling her the truth. Tracy just, okay, girl. So after that, Duda went over to Q's house. He knocked on the door. Q opens the door and he lets Duda inside. He's like, you early. But before he could even get his whole sentence out, Q powed him right there at his front door. Got him laying out. And while Duda is bent down looking over him like a psycho as he's bleeding out on the floor, because psychos and killers in serial killer movies do that, Q looks at him and says, I always knew you wasn't ish. So I'm looking forward to next week with this whole outcome and situation with Duda taking over, but also on how Duda is planning on taking over and buying Smokies. I'm like, oh no, poor Emmett. Don't mess with Emmett. So Duda was talking to this lady and she was telling him that he's not in bad shape, that his pizza restaurants are keeping him afloat, but she does suggest that he buys another chain. And one of her suggestions was for him to buy Smokies. And I said, no. Emmett wants to make Smokey his own chain. He wants Smokies. That's his. Leave it alone. He could buy some other things, but we all know that's not going to happen. He's going to go over there and mess with Emmett. I already know this won't turn out good because when he went over there messing with Brandon, that didn't turn out good. But let me know your thoughts on what you think is going to happen. So Master Marshawn walks into Smokey's and Emmett is excited. He's through the roof. He's offering him free food, letting him know how much he's helped him out through all these years with all his relationship problems. But that smile quickly turned upside down when he found out that Master Marshawn has a girl and he's not celibate. He's a whole fraud on social media. And his girl was letting all the secrets out in front of Emmett. She was like, oh yeah, that's right. You're supposed to be celibate. And she made it known that she's the one that's been helping him come up with all his taglines. And she looked at Master Marshawn and was like, where my cut at? So he was like, go wait in the car. And she said, yeah, your mama needs the car back in an hour. So Emmett's like, you can't have no free food. You got to pay now. So he started explaining himself. Everything got smoothed over because Emmett was like, well, you did end up helping me out and helping me find my girl right now. So he was like, okay, you'll pay for only one combo, but the other one you got to pay for. So Emmett did finally tell Keisha that Tiff tried to smash. She was like, why you didn't tell me earlier? But he said he didn't want her to be mad. And she was hoping that Emmett would have told her sooner. But I mean, at least he did. And you know, she was hurt by this because she told Emmett that she thought that she could trust Tiff. So after Keisha got over being mad at Emmett because he didn't tell her soon enough, they made up. She's telling Emmett that this is the first time in her life that she feels like she's in a real relationship. And they promised each other to always tell each other everything. But she did tell Emmett that she needs to talk to Tiff. And how y'all think that conversation is going to go? let me know. Because Keisha didn't even want to call Tiff up to let her know how good her son EJ was doing at his reading. He was like, yay, I got all these words right. Call my mama up and let her know what a good job I've done. And Keisha was like, how about I tell your daddy to call your mama and let her know. Also, Keisha and Emmett did go to this art gallery, and Deja was running the whole thing, and she was letting them know how much all this art cost. It's expensive, and Keisha and Emmett promised each other that one day that they're going to be able to afford these things. It's not going to always be like this. They're not going to always be broke, because Emmett could tell by looking at Keisha that she was wishing that she could really take one of these home, but he was promising her. And I just hope this all works out, because as y'all know, Duda planning on taking over Smokies. Rob is a simp. Tiff let him know that she tried to smash Emmett on Valentine's Day, and he didn't even get mad. He stayed calm. Overall, he was understanding. Too understanding for me. And that makes me think that he has some kind of ulterior motive, because who could be this calm and understanding in a situation like this when your girl just tried to smash her ex? And he knows that the only reason why it didn't happen is because Emmett stopped it. Even Tiff was like, how can you be so calm about this? And he said it's because he grew up in a household that was always arguing and yelling, so he learned to just listen to what people gotta say. So he forgives her. So let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. Do y'all trust Rob? But Tiff was talking to Dante, and Dante finds out that Tiff moved. She's moved in with her new man. She got a new man. He's like, I'm happy for you. And she's like, no, you're not. So that's when Rob comes walking past the screen, and Dante got jokes. He was like, how tall are you? 6'8"? And Rob was like, 6'9", shorty. So anyway, Tiff is like, what do you want, Dante? And he said, give me some of that blueberry kush. So I think maybe in next episode we're gonna see Dante stopping by. So Nina was snooping through Kevin's room, and she found all of these expensive shoes, expensive clothes, and she finds his PS5. Something up in there cost $500. And then she went through his drawer, and that's where she found all this cash rolled up, and she immediately jumped to conclusions. She was like, this boy is selling drugs. So she goes straight to Dre, shows her all this money she found, and tells her Kevin is selling drugs. And Dre is trying to calm her down. She's like, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume that he's selling drugs. And Nina's like, I know where this kind of money comes from. Girl, a lot of money just doesn't come from selling drugs. So Dre and Nina both sit Kevin down, and they ask him, where did he get all this money from? Are you selling drugs? And Kevin is like, nah, I'm not selling drugs. He thinks they're crazy. And he didn't want to tell them at first, because he was saying that he wants to keep something for himself. But because they was pushing so hard, he was like, okay, I got this money from gaming. And Nina didn't believe her son. She didn't believe that he was getting all this money from gaming. She's like, do I look dumb? Do I look like boo-boo the boo? Who's paying you then? And Kevin's like, corporations. They still don't believe him. They're asking for proof, and can they come by to one of these game nights? And Kevin's like, what proof? They paying cash. And no, y'all can't come because you gotta buy a ticket, and I don't want y'all there anyway. I want this for myself. He's saying, I finally found something I'm good at, and I'm not gonna let y'all take it away from me. So he snatches his money off the table, then decides to leave them a roll and says, you're welcome. He walks away and goes upstairs to his room. And Nina's like, I don't want to have to go to jail for killing my son. Girl, if you would just sit down and listen, Google it. Google will tell you that you can get money from gaming. You think Kevin is cool enough to sell drugs, just like Jake said? He looked at Kevin, he said, your mama think you that cool to be selling drugs? She didn't give him that roll of money back though. She sure did keep it. So after that is when Kevin was telling Simone that he wants her to keep his money at her house for a little while, because his moms are tripping and they don't believe him when he's telling them that he's getting all this money from gaming. She agrees to keep it, but tells him that if her grandma finds this money, then she's snitching on him. So Bakari went over to Jake's house to apologize to Jemma for starting that whole mess and making her lose her baby. Jake wasn't trying to hear none of this, but Jemma was like, no, he can stay. And Jake was like, this is not your house. But Bakari was like, I just want to say sorry. And Jemma was like, it's okay. It's not your fault. And Jake was like, he was the one shooting. So that's when Jemma was like, I appreciate you coming over here. I know it took a lot. So Jemma accepts his apology, but you can tell that Jake is not about that at all. But Jake and Papa had a little situation. They had gotten into a little argument. Jake doesn't feel appreciated in this friendship. It was a lot of back and forth, and Jake was like, how are you gonna rock with somebody who I don't rock with? You're not supposed to mess with someone I don't mess with. So Papa was like, I'm a man of Christ, and he needed shelter. And Jake's like, well, why he gotta take shelter at your house? Papa went in. He was like, you telling me who to be friends with, but you didn't even tell me Jemma was pregnant. I bet you told Kevin. You told Kevin, huh? He was like, I'm not trying to be yours or Kevin's sidekick. Y'all not there for me, but guess who was? Bakari was. But Jake did go on Papa's radio show, and they worked everything out. They made up live on air. They both apologized to each other. Jake realized his wrongs and now knows that he has to fill Papa in on things and not just assume that he's always going to be there for him and that they're always going to be friends without actually talking. But let me know how y'all feel about Jake telling Papa that he can't be friends with Bakari because he don't get along with Bakari. He don't like him. Let me know. But Lena is sneaking Bakari through her bedroom window. I wonder how Nina would feel about that. But they started talking about how they both live messed up lives and about how she's not judging Bakari because he killed people. Her brother killed people, and he's not a monster. So she knows that Bakari isn't a monster. He just didn't have anyone there for him, and he ate that up. They started talking about their future, and he asked her, do you ever think about your future and what you want to be when you grow up? She said no, but he said, I don't either, but recently I've been thinking about it a lot. She gave him this idea on writing a book because he says that he's been through a lot in life, so he should write it down. So now Bakari knows what he wants to do in his life when he grows up and all of that. He wants to be a book writer. He wants to be an author. So he's about to get started and he's about to write a book, but I don't know if he gonna make it. I don't know if he gonna end up writing a book or not because things seem a little too good right now, and when things go too good, that means you're about to die. I hope, I hope Bakari don't die, but that's what it's looking like. And who would take that news hard other than Lene and Papa? Rashad. Rashad and Bakari was talking, and Bakari told Rashad that he wants to write a book about his life. So Rashad told him that he wants to open up a vintage shop. So Bakari's like, I'm gonna go to your store. And Rashad's like, I'm gonna buy your book. We gonna see. So Rashad wanted to talk to Tiara about that hookup that they had. He said it was magical, but it can never happen again. She said, I wasn't planning to, but okay. He was like, so you're not heartbroken or anything? Why would she be? Why would she be, Rashad? So he was like, do you love Victor? And she was like, no, but it's an opportunity. So Rashad was butthurt, and he was like, that's because you're smashing Rosalind. She was like, sometimes. She's like, I like nice things, so I do what I have to do to get them. And she already told us before that she's an opportunist and she's gonna do what she gotta do to get it. But my question is, do y'all think he knocked her up? So right after Trig and Fatima smash, she want to get mad at him all of a sudden and say, I don't want to be a secret. She's still going on about this. We still have this storyline going on about Trig not coming out, and she wants him to come out. She don't want to be a secret. I want this whole thing to be over. Trig, hurry up. Trig, hurry up and come out. I understand, but they dragging it. They dragging this. He's telling Shy he's in love with her. Well, then hurry up. Jada and Darnell are planning their wedding. Jada wants a small, intimate wedding, while Darnell wants a big old wedding. He wants to invite his 200 cousins, and he wants everybody to be able to eat lobster and steak at their wedding. And Jada was like, that's too much. And Jada ended up getting her way. They're going to have a small, intimate wedding, and some of that money that Darnell was going to spend on it, he ended up donating to Rock. Jada was excited. She was like, Tracy's going to love this. I bet she will. But I don't know if he should have did that, but that's pretty much the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. And next week, we have the season finale. Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.